are the team number 2. We are conformed by me, Sofia Gutierrez, Paolo Luna, Kathleen Martinez, and Mariana Torres. The UN goal we chose is the number 4, which is the quality education.
What are the UN goals? Well, the UN goals were originally known as the 8 Millennium Development Goals. Its objectives were from halving extreme poverty rates to halting the spread of HIV and providing universally primary education, all by a scheduled date of 2015. However, it was not achieved, so the 2030 Agenda for Development was created, adopted by all the members of the United Nations States in 2050, providing a new blueprint for peace and prosperity for the planet and people now and for the future. In total, there are 17 suitable development goals, which are an urgent call to action for all countries in global partnership. They recognize that the end of poverty and other deprivation must go hand in hand with strategies that improve health and education, reducing inequality and stimulate economic growth, all while we address climate change and work to preserve our forests and oceans. UN Goal number 4, Quality Education. What is the purpose of this suitable development goal? The purpose of this is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. Some of the goals that this suitable development goal has is that by 2030 ensure that all girls and boys have completely free, equitable and quality primary and secondary education. By 2030 eliminate gender disparities in education and ensure equal access to all levels of education and vocational training for the vulnerables, including people with disabilities, indigenous people, and children in vulnerable situations.
We choose this UN goal because we believe that education shouldn't be something to worry about regarding the importance this topic has. We also want to start recognizing how the COVID-19 situation has affected the education system due to that not everybody has access to a device, which makes the situation even worse. Education is the base of everything, so education should help us to reduce inequalities so that way we can live in peaceful societies. Nevertheless, about 258 million children and youth were still out of schools in 2018 as the COVID-19 pandemic spread across the world. By April of 2020, there were more than 1.6 million children without access to school. The problem with the Mexican education system is that there is no education guarantee. You have the right to education, but this system doesn't guarantee you learning. Second, not everybody is able to receive this basic human right, such as little towns and communities across the country, because in most of the cases they don't have access to transportation. Third, the lack of teachers and their commitments. Their methods are not always successful, and also they don't come with enough resources. Unfortunately, the majority of these problems are focused on public education system, which means their education depends on the government, and the government hasn't done anything to change the situation.
In the graph on the left are the percentage of educational levels in Mexico, and we can see that primary is the degree of education that most people in Mexico have. In the graph on the right side, we can see the population in Mexico with some educational level. The highest percentage is 24, that is the middle school. Another important data is that in 2019 the total population of Mexico was 125.9 million inhabitants and only 18.6 million have internet access. So with this data we can say that more than 40 million people do not have access to online education.
Another data. 88% of young people have finished high school education to continue studying at a higher level. 56% of young people between the ages of 12 and 24 assist to school. And the state of Mexico is where the fewer young people attend to school.
Well, our findings of the survey was really bad, really negative, because I think we already expected that, because we know that there is an inequality on education, that there is something that is never changing, that there is something that is getting worse and worse. And for example, the pandemic didn't help. Most of the people answered in the survey that obviously the education went really down, really breaks, because because some of the students were even able to study because the digitalization of everything made this so really unequal and unfair for those who really want to study, and that is the real life, the really sad case of the students in Mexico. So that is what we found in the survey, and also that there are people that pay for the studies and of all that stuff, and they don't receive a good education, or there are also the ones that pay and have a good education. But what we see is that nobody said that they have a free education and a good education. The ones that answered that they have a free education was like not a good education, like free and not good.
Our conclusion as a team. We realize that education is one of the most important things in life. Not only help people to be more educated and know more things about any topic, but it also helps us how to do the basic things as speaking, writing, or even reading. But it can also have a positive impact to our society, like an economic growth or even having people more prepared and competitive. Unfortunately, a lot of people cannot afford going to classes, especially with this COVID-19 situation. That's why this UN goal is so important, because we need to make a change with the public education system in all the countries, not only in third world countries. So in that way, a lot of kids can go to school and have a better future.